So yes, Hoy Fishing is the one who is making these lures. So I ordered Doug from Trout Slayer. He, hey, Kevin's here. Hey, look, I got it working. I don't know how that happened, but it's working, so we'll take it. So yeah, Doug at Trout Slayers gave me one of these here, and this is what he caught that monster cutthroat on, and so I ordered a couple more, and I've caught some nice trout on them too. So nothing like what Doug caught, but so working on a lure, almost done. Nice. Yeah, those are working. So I don't even know how many people we got in here, but I guess let's just jump right into it. I fished this week. Well, over the past week, I fished, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. Me and a buddy went out, and his grandson, and then my wife and I went out, and it's been slow. I don't know. Has anybody else out there done any fishing? Because it's been incredibly slow. The bite has definitely slowed down, and I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of experience fishing in the wintertime because normally I'd be out duck hunting. So, but there are one particular bait that I found, or style of bait that is catching some fish for trout, I should say, for trout. And that is that's the Rapala CD3, the sinking, and the CD5, and then the sack lure from Hoy Fishing. That's the only ones that I've been able to catch anything on. So, all right, Kevin went out. Mun Lake. I haven't fished Mun Lake in a long time, but 3 and 3 hours, okay size. Nice. Definitely slow though. Yeah, man, I hear you. It's crazy slow. So got a few lures from him, but haven't been able to catch anything on it. Yeah, they're working. I've been over to Pattison Lake and caught them on Pattison Lake, and I know Doug and I have been out to Newatzel. That's kind of a drive. That's about a 45-minute drive from here, so kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice lake, super clean water. You can see bottom at 15 feet sometimes if the light's just right, but very, very clean lake. But that lake has been producing real well. I did talk with Doug. He had gone out a couple of times, or just once, I think, out to Newatzel over the weekend, and he cut his limit. And I asked him what he was using, and he said the sack lure also. So that's cool to hear. I'm not. Now I did go. I tried bass fishing, and I spent a few hours bass fishing, and it was painful. I didn't catch anything, nothing, not a nibble, not a bite. I was trying I tried a 4-inch kind of a wacky worm setup, just a real light finesse. I think it was the Berkely Max scent, and just letting that thing flutter down, and nothing would hit it. And I tried other stuff too, but I probably spent most of my time just fishing that real finessey type stuff, just a wacky, just hoping that something would bite, but nothing ever did. Tried perch and bluegill fishing. I was getting nibbles, little tiny nibbles. I think maybe they were real small fish. I couldn't get a bite, just couldn't get a bite. So, which is weird because normally perch and bluegill you can catch anytime, but outdoors in the PNW, where have you been fishing at, man? Are you local, fishing local lakes like St. Clair or Long Lake or something, or where are you fishing at? Same question for Hoy Fishing too. Where have you been out at all? Are you testing out any of them lures? You're done bass until February. Yeah, I gotta catch a bass in December. I just have to do it just for the sake of doing it. I'll probably regret it because I'll probably burn a whole bunch of time just not catching any fish. But We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I wanted to try. Okay, so haven't out much. Newborn. Yeah, St. Clair. I grew up swimming in St. Clair and fishing St. Clair. It's a good lake. There's a lot of fish in that lake. I don't know if anybody knows this, but there are crappie in that lake. I caught crappie for the first time in that lake this summer. I was really surprised. But and I think there's cutthroat, rainbow, bass, definitely some bass in that lake. I've seen some 6-pounders pulled out of there. I've never caught one that big. I think the biggest one I ever caught in that lake was about 3 pounds, something like that, 3.5 maybe. Trying to get out, a little busy. Yeah, man, I hear you. I hear you. Now, Hoy fishing, if you go fishing, because if I'm not mistaken, you're in Tacoma, but I correct me if I'm wrong, but what lakes do you typically hit? Power fisherman. I don't really like finesse. Yeah, dude, it's painful. Finesse fishing to me is, I'll do it just to catch a fish, but man, that's painful. I hear you. I love doing like top water, cranking that bait and moving it. Keeps me active on the boat, and I like that. Yeah, channel cat. I've seen them on my sonar. They have to be cats, and they're down pretty deep. And on the sonar, they're just this. They're big, and I'm like, what in the world is that? And then I had heard that they had the cats in that lake. I'm like, oh man, I should fish for them one day. But I've seen how people fish for those things, and going back to like kind of what Kevin was saying, man, that is slow fishing for those cats and stuff. I ran into a guy fishing for carp at Pattison Lake, and he had like 4 anchors off of his boat, and he had these rods set up, and they had like sensors on them, and like that is the most boring thing I've ever seen. Alder, American, Black Lake. Okay. I have not fished Alder in years. I need to get up there and fish that. American Lake, I have never fished. And Black Lake, I've fished several times. Black Lake that's a fun lake to fish too. American Lake, I know me and Trout Slayer and Lake Hopper, we've all talked about doing American Lake, maybe for some kokanee. I know they got a lot of smallies in there too. I'd love to go catch a smallie. We don't have a lot of lakes on this side that have a lot of smallies, but I see guys pulling them out of there, so I'd like to try that. American Lake, good fishing for perch during the winter, 100%. I've seen, the Pescatarian, I ran into him one day, and he's got a couple of videos up too, local guy that he's fished out there, and he's done really well with some perch. And I really want to actually get out there and I want to do an episode on YouTube here of just fishing for perch out on American Lake. And I've seen some fatties pulled out of there. Big kokanee, I've heard that. Got some decent cokes in that lake too. Yeah, I'd like to go out, and I'm hearing now that the kokanee are starting to rise up a little bit, getting up in that higher water column because the water temperatures are changing. And anybody interested, the water temps, at least on the lakes around here right now, is last I was out, it was 48 degrees at the surface temp. So it's cooling down, certainly not in the 70s, 60s and 70s, but I have seen, even though they weren't biting, I saw a ton of trout surfacing. So they're definitely eating off the top, which is good. Yeah, Alder Lake. I can't speak to it personally, just because I haven't fished it in years, but I know Lake Hopper's been out there, and he catches some really nice, I think they're white crappie, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they're black crappie, but he's got some pretty nice white crappie out of there. And crappie, that's good eating. If, I don't keep the small stuff, but if I got some that were, 12 plus inches, I'd fillet them out and eat them. Those are good tasty fish. And I think Alder's got some smallies in it too. In fact, I'm almost positive it does. Maybe another place when the weather turns and gets a little bit better. That would be fun to go out there and fish those. Rife Lake for smallies. That is on my springtime bucket list. Hey, Lake Hopper's here. What's going on, man? So smallies, yeah, but I also want to do smallies on Rife Lake, or maybe I'm thinking of Mayfield. They got the tiger muskies. We're definitely going to do some tiger muskies this year, 100%. Kokanee, slamming them. 15 plus inches. Oh, those are nice. Those are nice eaters. Those are really good. Howdy again, Lake Hopper. Rainbow and cutthroats. One thing that I am not clear on is if you can keep a cutthroat or not. It seems like I have found conflicting information on Fish and Wildlife, which shouldn't surprise anybody. But we were hitting a lot, especially up at Lake Nowatzel. We were hitting a ton of native cutthroat up there. So we threw them all back. We didn't keep any because we weren't sure, but smallies and largemouth. Yeah, definitely seen some largemouth pulled out of there too. There's bass fishing tournaments on Alder Lake, and I think that's where I've seen some video of guys pulling both large and smallies out of there. I got to do a trip to Potholes this year too. I know Lake Hopper, he went over there a few times I think this summer, but I just got too busy with fire season. It was really hard to commit to go over there. But Potholes, I've fished it many times. There's some monster perch in there too. I pulled up a 14-inch perch in Potholes right off of the Mardon docks there, and just kayaking and just trolling a little Max Smile blade behind me and nailed a big, beautiful perch. Meat's nice. That's always a bonus. Kokanees are fun to catch. They are some head shakers. I love catching kokanee. They're a blast. I haven't caught one in years, but quick story. I was in a canoe, and I was on this little lake called Stump Lake. It's outside of Elma, and I was bass fishing, and I kind of reeled up my line. My lure, big Rapala, was still touching the water, and I'm just paddling. I'm going to the other side of the lake, very small lake, and a kokanee of all things came up and grabbed my lure that was right next to my canoe, and just slammed it. I thought I was going to lose my pole. I grabbed it, I pulled it up, and it was, I don't know, probably a 15, 16-inch kokanee. It had to be, I don't know if it had to be planted, but either way, I caught it, and that was pretty cool and unexpected. Mayfield is the place for muskies. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. And Lake Taps too, I hear, has got some good muskie fishing in there. Okay, Lake Hopper, which one is your number one lake right now? And Lake Hopper's been out squidding, and I haven't. I want to go squidding. I will. I need a kayak. I've got my boat. I love my boat. But I got to get a kayak just so I don't want to take my tracker in the saltwater. It's not designed for the saltwater. When the wind kicks up and the waves get going, that's a little sketchy out there. Oh, Potholes, yeah. Soda Lake over there is also really good. They got a lot of walleye and stuff in Soda Lake. Merwin has muskies? Seriously, I had not heard that. Kevin, I am learning something new today. I have not heard that now Merwin is supposed to have some really kick-ass kokanee fishing, but I've never fished Merwin, so I don't know much about it. But But that would be pretty cool if they've got some muskies down there too. Sprinkle in a little kokanee fishing while we're at it. Potholes, yeah, definitely. Potholes that's just such a good lake. It's a really good fishery, and I saw a 9-pound largemouth bass caught off of the rock wall right down by the Mardon Resort, and guy went out fishing. He was camped there right next to us, and he went out fishing in the evening, and he caught it on a 7-inch wacky, a 7-inch trick worm. I don't remember if it was purple or green pumpkin or something, a darker color. And he was just flipping that thing up there by the rocks and just letting it shimmy down. And he'd kind of pull it back to him, he said, and caught just a monster out there. I didn't see the fish in person, but he took a picture of it on the rock wall, and it was a giant, biggest bass I've ever seen. Well, for Washington, I should say. I know they get a lot bigger than that, but that somebody had actually caught. I mean, I've seen pictures. There was a guy up north that caught a 12-pounder, I think the state record, but yeah, they get really big. And I know my youngest son Cody, he caught a really nice smallmouth just standing on shore, just casting out. Also right by Mardon, there's some really good fish in there. Nice campsites too, the state park and Mardon. We always typically stay down at Mardon, which is a nice resort. But and if the weather continues to, if it gets really cold this winter. I know Blake over at Washington Fish Quest, him and I have talked about maybe heading over to the east side and doing some ice fishing. I've never been ice fishing before. I have heard that ice fishing on the, yeah, I am sad. Ice fishing in the Midwest right now is picking up. Some of the lakes are getting 6+ inches of ice, and they're just starting to get out there and get working on that now. Most of those guys back there are after perch, crappie, and walleye, and I guess they do pretty good too. So yeah, I want to do some more traveling this year and get out and around, try and hit more lakes and stuff that I haven't fished for a long time, and some lakes that I've never fished before. But maybe even if time permitting, I wouldn't mind trying some steelhead. I know they call them the fish of 1,000 casts, but I want to get out and try it. Oh man, yeah, dude, you got to go to Potholes. It's I don't think you can go there and not catch fish. I don't. I think it's impossible. It's just a lot of just like Lake Hopper here, man. Yeah, super fun. A lot of species. I totally agree with that. You can catch a ton of stuff out there. Lake Washington, Lake Sammamish is fun. Yeah, I bet that would be too. I have heard, in fact, I think it's on the Fish and Wildlife website, that there are walleye in Lake Washington. And they're not, obviously they're not native there, but I think maybe somebody caught some walleye on the east side and brought them home and let them go. But probably not great for the ecosystem for other fish, but if they ever really take hold in Lake Washington, I'm fishing for them. Yeah, and when are you going to start posting some more content, man? Because I haven't seen you post a video for a long time, and we should. That would be a lot of fun. I would love to go over there and spend a weekend. Do like a kind of an extended weekend, maybe like a 3 or 4 day run over there, because it's only a 3.5 hour drive or so from my house to get over to Potholes, and I don't even mind just tent camping it. Maybe haul the boat over there and just park it at Mardon, and you guys bring some kayaks. That would be a blast to go. I would totally do that. I would be down for that. And I know that walleye starts to really get good in May and tips into June too, but May is a really good time. April, May, really good time for walleye. I think that's their spawning season too. That's when they're out there doing their thing. Crab Creek at Potholes. If you get anywhere near Crab Creek, that's really good for walleye. If you like walleye fishing, as far as freshwater fish goes, walleye is probably my favorite to eat. It's really, really good stuff. So with fishing locally here for panfish, I was trying some of the little jigs we made and different things. I could not. I have worms, crappie nibbles. I threw everything under my boat. Put spinners on some stuff. I put scent on it. I couldn't catch a perch to save my life. I couldn't buy a bite. It was pathetic. Hours and hours of, and I tried working all the baits different ways, fast, slow, letting them sit, 6 inches off the bottom, 2 feet off the bottom, and just twitch the rod and jerk the rod, and they weren't having nothing to do with it. Every once in a while, I'd feel one just bump my line. I think it was swimming by and ran into my line. I don't think it was even touching the bait. But that's fishing. You can't win them every time. So I know some people say, well, why didn't you post a video? Because you just want to watch me sit out there on the boat and hold a pole? Well, that would be boring. Nobody'd watch it. But that is also the reality of it. So maybe I should just post a video on every fishing trip I do, win or lose. I don't know. Let's vote. Because I always bring my cameras. I've always got my cameras with me, and I'm always got them turned on, so I could do it. I don't know if anybody would watch it, but whatever. Well, it says we got 8 people in here. That is actually more than I thought. I'm not complaining. We'll go another maybe 10 minutes or something, and then I guess we'll call it done after that. But that's my fishing report was, these style lures here. And if anybody is looking for the Hoy lures here, I did put a link to the website in the description too, so you can go right over there and pick one of these up. This is the trout color, and if Hoy Fishing, if you're still here, what do you use for a final clear coat on these? I was curious. And this one rattles too. Yeah, I bet your game. I know you. How many trips did you do over there this year? Like 2 or 3 at least, I think. I think at least 2. But yeah, I'd definitely do it. All right, Kevin, I can do it. Yeah, I get it. There are days where I don't bring my camera gear because I just need a day to just, mentally check out, and I totally get it. It is nice just to go hang out and just do stuff, but oh, diamond and poly. Okay, I was wondering if it was diamond. My brother paints some baits, and he was using some of the diamond too, but which I guess can bring me to a different topic, and that is all the baits, the plastics and stuff that my brother was making, he was going to be part of this YouTube channel in the beginning. But he lives in Iowa, doesn't have a garage, anywhere to really work in the wintertime. And last I checked it was like minus 13 degrees. It's stupid cold. He's in Sac City, Iowa, or Lakeview, Iowa. And it gets just ridiculously cold. So it's really hard for him. And plus they're under, I think they just got 2 feet of snow or some crap. So he doesn't have a place to really do that stuff in the winter. So long story short, I bought all his stuff. Well, I had bought some of it, and he had bought the majority of all the bait making stuff. So he is it'll be here Saturday, and I got to order up a jug of plastisol, but I'm going to start making the baits out of here. And we make this little lure we call it the Erd lure, the URD, and it's fantastic at catching panfish, and I really didn't want him to sell all the stuff to somebody else and then me not have access to those lures. So I'm hoping that we'll not hoping, we will keep making them. So I'm not like going into business making baits or anything like that, but you know, I'll make up some extra packs if somebody wants to buy some. Great, I'll sell a few, but it's not really a business. I'll definitely shoot some content on it though, how I'm making them and stuff like that, what colors I'm using, what's working, what's not working. It'll give me well, some more content for the YouTube channel, so that'd be good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should. I think everybody should just pick up a camera once in a while and just go out and record. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I have learned so much in so many different things over the years from people on YouTube that, you know, every once in a while you pick up little things that just wind up working out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that would come in handy is recycling your own baits because I, well, most of the time I just bring them home and pitch them. I won't anymore. You know, I do a lot of the big Zoom trick worms, and those are, I'd like to be able to just melt them back down. I always buy green pumpkin. Sometimes I buy black, but green pumpkin or black, they work great. It would be nice to be able to just melt them down and re-inject them. I do have the 7-inch trick mold, so it'd be the same worm when I'm done. But yeah, that's, I wish the molds were less money. Man, those are expensive. Just insane what they want for some of those. You know, some of those are a couple $100, and it's just like, really? I mean, I get it. It's CNC'd aluminum. It's heavy aluminum, but it just seems a little bit outrageous. I think I know the weather's been crap as I look out my window right here and watch the trees, but it looks like maybe Friday is gonna let up just a little bit. Might still be a little breezy, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get dumped on with rain. So I think Friday I'm probably gonna get out in the morning and see what I can do out there with that. Hopefully something will bite. I hope, but all about I don't know what I'll fish for. I will probably just fish for anything that bites. Just, you know, I'll probably try bass. I'll probably try trout, panfish, bluegill, perch, you know, things like that. I just like fishing, you know, so it doesn't matter what I'm fishing for. As long as I'm catching some fish, I'm cool with it. Yeah, I have. I just don't have a way to really get out in the saltwater, but I know like Blake over at Washington Fish Quest, he goes up to is it Nia Bay area, somewhere up there every year, and they do bottom fish, lings and sea bass and stuff, kelp green lings, and they also do salmon. And I would love to get up there and fish for some of that. Yeah, Westport. I've done it down off the jetty too. It seems like over the past few years now, it's almost been overfished for me. I don't have the luck that I used to have out there, so I haven't done it for a while now. Surf perch fishing, that I would go do. In fact, my boy and I bought some brand new rods specifically for, well, we can use them for salmon and other things too, but with surf perch in mind, which I think those are fun, and I think they're great eating too. And I wouldn't mind going down to the ocean and doing that. That would be fun. Claylock, long drive, but Claylock is a really good place to slam some really big surf perch. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of us should just get out more. Just get out more and do this kind of stuff. I think it'd be a lot of fun to, you know, pick up your cameras and go out. And you never know when you're going to catch your PB either. You know, it's like, I'm glad I had my cameras rolling when Doug caught that monster, that cutthroat. You know, I'm glad we got that on film. That was really cool to get that on film. So surf perch, I've done Westport, Ocean Shores, and Claylock. I hear that Long Beach can be really good too, but for me, just Westport and Ocean Shores are the closest beaches, so that's typically where I've spent most of my time surf perch fishing. I've never surf perched at Long Beach, but I have gone up to Claylock before, and I just like the drive up to Claylock, and there's some other things to stop and see on the way, so I've done that a couple of times. But I've done really good on the South Jetty at Westport. If you're fishing on the south side of that jetty there, like right next to the jetty, you don't have to go far, 100 yards, and cast out right there, and I've caught a ton of surf perch, decent sized ones too, right there on the south side of the jetty. So that's a really good spot. But you want to be careful of the tides. You know, if you can get a 10-second wave or something like that, or longer, 10, 12, 15, 17, then that's your best bet. If the waves start, really stacking in real fast, 5-second waves, meaning every 5 seconds there's a wave crashing on the beach, that's not great for surf fishing. But if you can get those 10-second and longer waves, they're good. If somebody could show me where to fish for pile perch, I would go tomorrow. I don't know where to go for them, and that's another thing I need to look into this year, is more public areas on the saltwater that I can go to, where I don't necessarily have to have a boat. But I would love to do some pile perch fishing. I've never eaten one. I actually hear they're pretty good to eat, and I love eating fish. So, yeah, Long Beach. I've heard that Long Beach is one of the better fisheries for surf perch. But again, I've never personally fished it, so I can't speak to it. But I've heard it's really good. So I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's just to go down there and do it. Ruston Way, really? You can just go down there and just catch piling perch, huh? I would think everybody would be doing that. Maybe not. I know that's where a lot of people go for squid in the Silicone Ferry dock and in different places. But yeah, I would think that would almost be overfished, but maybe not. Or maybe there's a plentiful population of them. But that would be that'd be cool. What? 10 pounds? Seriously? Pile perch? No. We must be talking about a different fish. Or are we talking surf perch? All right, Hoy. Which one are we talking about? You're talking piling perch, aren't you? Outdoors, I'm assuming you've maybe tried that before, because like I said, I haven't. So I've heard a lot of people say it, and I'm sure it's true, because people. Okay, serious. 10 pounds. Piling perch get up to 10 pounds. That blows my mind. I thought they were like little fish, like this. I've seen people catch them before, and they're always like, I don't know, 8-10 inches maybe. I've never seen anything bigger than that. I assumed they were like the bluegill of the ocean. What do I know? Mm-hmm. I gotta see if Trout Slayer's interested in selling that kayak that he bought and doesn't like, because he wound up picking up another one, and I definitely need a kayak. Okay, I gotta look this up. I have to Google it now. Pile perch. I gotta look into this. So Ruston Way. Okay, pile perch. We'll maybe I can go down there in the daylight, do a little pile perch fishing, and then as the evening tips toward us, we can switch over to perch, or not perch, squid. Maybe we can do that. That'd be a good time. Yep, yep. I miss razor clams. I used to dig them a lot, and then I got gout from shellfish, and so I don't eat shellfish anymore. Not for 3 years now. I can eat a little bit. About every couple months, I can have like 1 or 2 shrimp. Doesn't seem to bother me. But I used to eat a ton of shellfish, and razor clams were one of my favorite. Razor clams and Dungeness crab, and no, I can't. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, I bet. I bet you do. And you should. You should. I wonder what they are. Probably, I was going to say flounder, but those are more bottom fish. 7 pounds. That blows my mind. Okay, so I need to make sure that I'm not bringing my ultralight rod with me with 4-pound test on it. Chase Johnson, got any freshwater tips? No. Do you? We're just talking about how rough it's been out here, man. It's been slow. In the beginning, I was saying that the only thing last week at the local lakes that we were catching them on were lures like this. This is the sack lure from Hoy Fishing. I left a link to his website. These are hand-painted baits. And then I've got like the little Rapala, the CD5 and the CD3. Ow, I just buried that hook in my finger. Yep, and I'm a bleeder. That I've tried worms, I've tried soft plastics. Man, it's just the bite's slow, and you know the weather hasn't helped at all either. The weather's been just, well, obviously just ugly out here. But I don't know where you're from, but it's been rough, dude. It's been a challenge. But you know it's wintertime, and hey, if you're getting out fishing, even when you don't catch fish, it's still a lot of fun. It's just kind of that downtime that we all get to get out there and just enjoy it. So, I mean, I don't complain really. I mean, I complain, but not really when I don't catch fish. But yeah, try like one of those little Rapala CD3s or a CD5. They're the countdown sinking style, or the Hoy lure, the Hoy fishing lure. That's the only thing that we were catching them on, and that was, like I said, that was trout. I could not catch a bass. I could not catch perch, bluegill, crappie, nothing. It's just been slow. Unless anybody else has any tips, because I need some too. Chambers Bay. I'm trying to think where Chambers Bay is. So the only place that I've been squidding, I think that is Chambers Bay, isn't it? It's at the Silicone Ferry docks. That's the only place that I've gone squidding before. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people go to other areas, and they do well. Ruston Way and what's that other? Is Les Davis? Is that right? Les Davis Pier or something? Anyways, I haven't been there yet. I just need to throw my pole in my truck and just go. If you're asking me, no. Yeah. Well, if it worked for you, keep doing it. I'd mentioned earlier that I was doing wacky worms, and I did try a jerkbait too, and jerk, pause it for 30 seconds, jerk, pause it for 15 seconds, jerk, pause it for 10 seconds. Man, no matter what, I couldn't get a bass to bite. But yeah, it's pure rain. You're right. It looks like we're gonna have a couple of breaks, but I'm still getting out there. I got to get out there and fish, and it's for two reasons. One is it's a good downtime for me to just get out there and do it, but the other is if I'm going to run a YouTube channel, I got to catch fish. If I'm running a YouTube channel about catching fish, so and I also want to, maybe there's three reasons. I want to learn too more about fishing in the wintertime. Summertime, I'm not really that concerned about it because late spring, summer, early fall, I can always catch fish. But wintertime is a new one because, like I said, normally I'm out duck hunting, and I'm not duck hunting this year. So took a break for the year. So I've got to get out there, Kevin. Rain or shine, man, got to do it. Man, we've been going for almost 45 minutes. Maybe next week I'll have something new to report, like, oh my God, they bit on this lure, or they bit on that lure, or I caught one on a worm, or a crappie nibble, or something. But maybe not. Maybe I'll come back and say, I don't know what they're biting on still. Can somebody help me out? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And I'll get out and fish this weekend, see what happens. Drop shot, tried it, didn't work. I've actually never caught a fish on a drop shot. I'm almost embarrassed to say that out loud, but I never have. And that's too bad. But trick worm for bass. Yeah, I've got a bag of trick worms. I'm going to try. But, well, we're going to call it and get out there and fish, everybody. Lake Hopper, if you're going to get out there and do any fishing, shoot me a text. Let me know where you're going to go, man. Hoy, appreciate it, man. Good, awesome baits. And thanks for joining us tonight. So we'll catch everybody later. See you guys.